What's going on, guys? Victor here with yet another brand new video, and in today's video I want to talk about an interesting matchup that's going to take place in the UFC bantamweight division this Saturday during UFC Fight Night Austin, Texas. Like I said, this is going to be the UFC's first return to Austin, Texas in around 4 years, and it's definitely going to be stacked with a lot of fighters that are local to Texas, whether they live in San Antonio or they live in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas, you name it. There's definitely going to be a lot of Texas fighters on this card, and one of the most notable Texas natives that's made a name for himself in the UFC as of late is Adrian Yanez. He's currently 15-2 in the UFC. He's going to be fighting 8-3 Tony Kelley, and this is going to be an interesting fight for the reason of Tony Kelley's actions over the last couple of months, his racist comments against Brazilians, calling them dirty as F, and calling them cheaters at the same time. He was cornering Adrian, his current girlfriend, who is a fighter for the UFC as of late, and she ended up losing the fight, and as a result, Tony Kelley called Brazilians cheaters, and he said that they were dirty AF. And I can't say the full language because obviously it's just not the right thing to do, you know what I mean? And accusing Brazilians of being cheaters and calling them dirty AF is not the right thing to say. It kind of gave me shades of Colby Covington in his comments in Sao Paulo, Brazil a couple years ago when he fought Damian Maia, and he called Brazilians a bunch of dirty, filthy animals. And as a professional fighter, you have to act professional the whole entire time, whether you're fighting or whether you're acting as a cornerman for your fellow significant other or for your teammate or whoever. And as a result of this, Brazilian fans have come up in the masses for Adrian Yanez, who's going to be Tony Kelley's opponent. And if we all know about Adrian Yanez, he's got some of the best hands in the UFC bantamweight division. He's extremely fast, he's extremely agile, his octagon IQ is off the roof, and when he hits you, you tend to go down as a result of the power, speed, and precision that he possesses. Now, he's not just a striker, but he's also a well-rounded UFC mixed martial artist. Tony Kelley and Adrian Yanez do have something in common, and that is their past opponent, which happens to be Randy Costa. Both these guys finished Randy Costa. Adrian Yanez had a war with him, while Tony Kelley was able to overwhelm him via ground and pound and get that TKO finish. Now, are the versions of both these fighters who fought Randy Costa going to come in to this fight on Saturday going to be the same? No, I don't believe so whatsoever, because fighters change after fights. They make the accommodations that they need to in order to evolve in this sport of mixed martial arts that continues to evolve till this day. Fighters continue to get better, fighters continue to gain more knowledge, and fighters continue to insert that knowledge into the octagon for their next fights that they have in the future. Now, this fight, if you ask me, isn't really going to last too long. I believe that Adrian Yanez is going to take care of business. I can't back any fighters that put these type of comments out there, especially towards a certain group of individuals or a nation or a certain race of people like Tony Kelley. And I believe that he's going to feel the pressure, he's going to feel the intensity that Adrian Yanez is going to bring inside the octagon. Adrian has already predicted that he's going to win this fight via second round KO, and we're going to have to see what happens. I believe it's probably going to take the first round for Adrian Yanez to get him out of there. I believe there's going to be no filling out process whatsoever. Tony Kelley, like I said, he's pretty good on the ground, so if Adrian Yanez has anything to worry about, it's definitely going to be the takedowns. And if there's anything that we learned from Adrian Yanez in the past, is that he's a full mixed martial artist. It doesn't matter if the fight goes to the ground, if it stays on the feet, he's definitely going to have the somewhat advantage wherever the fight goes, just because of his strength. He's a very strong bantamweight, even though it doesn't really look like it because of his size and his body composition, but he's a very strong fighter, and he definitely displays that, especially when he touches you, when he takes you down. He just puts a lot of pressure on his opponents, and he just has an overwhelming presence about him. You know, he's a nice guy, he's a great guy outside of the octagon, but when he gets in there, it's all business at the end of the day, and he tends to put his opponents away and tends on to move on to the next fight, you know. And that's what Adrian Yanez is definitely going to do this Saturday. I believe he's going to put Tony Kelley away. Tony Kelley's his best his best mode of victory, his best method of victory is definitely going to be trying to take this fight to the ground and neutralizing the striking of Adrian Yanez by taking him to the ground and overwhelming him with some ground and pound strikes, just like he did with Ronnie Costa. But if you ask me, Ronnie Costa really died down during that fight. He really gassed out fast, and Adrian Yanez has a gas tank. He doesn't tend to get tired. He tends to be full speed ahead the whole entire time, and that's one thing about Adrian Yanez that really overwhelms his opponents, is that even though he's throwing all these strikes in high volume at such great amount of speeds, he doesn't get tired. His gas tank is pretty unlimited, and he can be able to use that gas tank to his advantage to be able to get these victories that he has been able to get in the past. He's currently undefeated in the UFC for a reason, and he has the skill that pays the bills, and he's definitely going to put all those skills on display against Tony Kelley, and the whole entire country of Brazil is going to be watching this. The majority of the fans here in the US are going to be watching this, and if he does win, there's definitely going to be an early carnival type of celebration going on in Brazil, because these Brazilians tend to extremely dislike the individuals that put dirt on their name, that put dirt on their country, that disrespect everything, their culture, what they believe in. And Tony Kelley was able to disrespect all of that in less than 25 seconds. So I can't wait to see this fight happen. It's going to be the headliner of the prelims. It should be on the main card, if you ask me. It should be the opener of the main card, but it's not. But the UFC has put this fight to be the headliner of the prelims for a reason, because there's going to be a lot of eyes on this fight. And professional Brazilian fighters have come out of late telling Adrian Yanez to finish Tony Kelley, and one of those Brazilian fighters just happens to be Gilbert Burns. And Gilbert Burns has literally promised Adrian Yanez to pay him extra money for that knockout. So definitely expect the knockout to come during this fight. It's going to come pretty fast. I say it's going to happen in the first round, not the second round as Adrian Yanez has predicted. And I believe it's going to happen on the feet. It's going to be a KO, not a TKO. And Tony Kelley's lights are going to be put out. But if Tony Kelley has any type of method of victory, it's definitely going to be on the ground. Do not stand up with Adrian Yanez, because that's going to be the worst thing that you can do. If you do stand up with Adrian Yanez, you want to keep solid movement the whole entire time. You want to move to the left, you want to move to the right, you want to try to cut your angles and confuse Adrian Yanez to the best of your ability. And whatever you do not have your back tight and close against the fence, because that's going to be a recipe for disaster. Keep the fight in the middle of the octagon the whole entire time, and definitely try to soften up the legs of Adrian Yanez with some leg kicks, because as a striker, you tend to use your legs a lot to be able to project a lot of that power with that forward motion when you're going to throw a strike. So obviously, if I'm Tony Kelley, you want to throw some calf kicks in there, be able to hinder some of his movement. That way he won't have that much power to project when he's throwing those strikes at you. Also, definitely fake some takedowns. You know, you want to fake some jabs or fake some strikes and use that as a distraction to change levels and go in for the takedown. And that's all the advice I'm going to give to Tony Kelley. I'm not a professional fighter myself, but those are just some of the clear things that he should do. Don't try to strike with Adrian Yanez, because you're definitely going to pay for it. But something tells me that Tony Kelley is going to go into this fight emotional, because he believes that everything that he said was right. It didn't hurt anybody's feelings. It didn't disrespect anyone whatsoever. And he's most likely going to stand and bang with Adrian Yanez, which is going to be the last thing that he would have wanted to do to begin with. And as a result, he's definitely going to pay the price. Hope you guys enjoy this fight. It's definitely going to be a good one. Like I said, the headliner of the prelims. And it's going to be the fight right before the main card. So there's definitely going to be a lot of eyes on it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and take it easy.